So I've wanted to make this video for a while, but I wasn't sure whether it was a good idea or, yeah, I had reservations, and there's a reason that despite the fact that I hold some of these stocks, I leave them out of my portfolio updates. And I decided to make this video because I always want to be completely transparent with you guys, and it didn't feel right to me to not mention that I do invest in these companies. But the reason that I don't include it in the main portfolio updates is because penny stocks are very, very risky investments. And I know that whilst I have disclaimers and people should know not to copy, you know, finance YouTubers and things like that, I know that what I put out there will have an influence on what people buy. And I wanted to try and be as sensible with that as possible. So trying to marry these two things up, and decided to just put this in a separate video. So what I'm going to do here is just have a quick explanation of what penny stocks are, you know, why they're risky, my thoughts on them, and then tell you the ones that I hold, a little bit about them and why I hold them. So hopefully something a little bit different to my usual content, but hopefully you will enjoy it. So if we first look at a definition of what a penny stock is, you can see here that in the past, penny stocks were considered any stocks that traded for less than $1 per share. However, this has been modified to include all shares trading below $5. Now, penny stocks are usually associated with small companies and trade infrequently. That means that they have a lack of liquidity. That basically means that investors may find it difficult to sell stock since there may not be any buyers at the time. And I definitely have found this because when I've tried to buy or sell some of these, I have had to wait a long time. So I had the order queued up, but it took a while to go through. And the reason for that is the liquidity of the stock. So due to their lack of liquidity and the wide bid-ask spreads and price quotes, alongside the small company size, penny stocks are generally considered highly speculative. So this is why I mentioned before that I don't really want to promote these investments in my portfolio updates, because I know that a lot of people that watch my videos are beginner investors. Like, the whole reason I started this channel was because I was a beginner investor and I was, you know, trying to learn about the stuff and share as I go along. So this is me sharing my journey with penny stocks. Now, with that in mind, you need to know that if you invest in penny stocks, you need to be prepared to lose 100% of your investment. And I know that when we talk about general investing, people also say, you know, only invest what you're prepared to lose. And whilst that's true, investing in blue chip companies and index funds and things like that, you are unlikely to lose all your money. Your investments may go up or down in value, but the likelihood of all of your investments, providing you have a diversified portfolio, disappearing is very small. However, with penny stocks, there is a chance that you can literally just wake up one day and your money will be gone. So I don't have a lot invested in these companies. My price ranges here range from about £50 to £100 in each of these companies. Now, there are potential huge gains on these companies, and whilst that's great, and if that happens, I will be kicking myself for not investing more, kind of how I did with Bitcoin. I'm just not willing to put more money in at this point in time. I'm still, you know, trying to achieve my goals. I'm still trying to save money for this house build and put money into my investments that will sort of fund my early retirement and things like that. So I'm not ready yet to put big amounts into such risky investments. Having said that, obviously a small percentage of my money will be going towards things like crypto and penny stocks. So now I'm going to share with you the penny stocks that I hold and just a little bit about each of them and what they are and why I hold them. But obviously just remember, I'm not a financial advisor. This is just my opinion. So make sure you do your own research if you do end up wanting to take a gamble on one of these. So the first one we're going to look at is Rigel Pharma. Rigel, I don't know how to pronounce it. I had problems with AstraZeneca. So let's just go with Rigel because that's how I would pronounce it. So they are essentially a pharmaceutical company that is focused on hematologic disorders, cancer and rare immune diseases. And you can see here that the company's first FDA approved product is Tavalisse, the only oral spleen something inhibitor for the treatment of adult patients with chronic immune ITP. So this is a rare autoimmune disease where the body's own immune system attacks and destroys platelets in the blood. Very scientific. But I did a lot of research. I watched a lot of videos about this company and it seems like they are onto something here. This product seems to be really good and well received. And the other thing to note about them is they have recently partnered up with a large company and they are working together on a potential Alzheimer's drug. Obviously, that would be absolutely huge. If they had a breakthrough here, that would send the stock right up and would be huge news. So big risk there because obviously this is something that we haven't really managed to do yet. But they do have the backing of this larger company. I can't remember the name now because I did the research for this a long time ago. But if we look at these two sources here, the price target is a lot higher than it currently is. So at the moment it is trading at 367 and the 1 year target estimate here is 850 on Yahoo Finance. And if we look at tip ranks as well, it is also sort of looking between $7 to $11. So again, quite a big rise from where it currently is. Obviously price targets aren't always accurate, but I think that they are a good resource for, you know, things like penny stocks where there's not massive amounts of data to go on. And like I said, this is essentially sort of gambling, so it's as good of an analysis as any. So here it's based on 4 analysts and the average is 875. So that really tallies up with this target from Yahoo Finance. Now the next one on my list is Argo Blockchain. Now you can see here that Argo Blockchain does not have price targets, but the reason I decided to invest in it is because unless you've been hiding under a rock, you know that cryptocurrencies are a huge deal right now. People are making so much money and so many cryptocurrencies are becoming more widely used, especially Bitcoin, and Argo Blockchain seems to be a company that is doing really well on the crypto mining. So, sorry, I should have said that. They are a crypto mining company. And we can see here that the company's first quarter mining revenue was 13.4 million compared to 6 million in the same period last year. So they are doing really well on the mining, and on top of that, they are developing a new mining facility in the US, and they want to make it mine the crypto using renewable energy. So this is huge because I've seen in the headlines, you know, even on BBC News about how, you know, Bitcoin mining takes so much electricity and it's so bad for the planet. So actually having a company that can mine this using renewable energy is amazing. And I think that that gives it potential to really do extremely well. Now, we do also have interest in crypto from huge companies like Tesla recently saying that you can pay for a Tesla car with Bitcoin, and things like that are huge. And we've seen governments be interested in crypto. We recently had the whole Britcoin thing where the UK government is looking at creating its own cryptocurrency. So I do think that if all of this happens, then anything to do with cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin will do really well. However, obviously the risk here is that the share price is kind of dependent on Bitcoin and how Bitcoin does and how well it is adapted into society. So considering Bitcoin is very volatile and risky, so is this. Now, the next one that I hold is Canabo Group. They are the second UK listed medical cannabis company. Now, they actually made the first ever medical cannabis vaporizer. When you read up about it, it talks about how, you know, this vaporizer is meant to allow you to have a specific measured out dose by the doctor so that you don't overdo it and you take the dose that you're allowed to have, and this can potentially make it more likely for governments to be okay with medical cannabis. They are also currently in advanced stages to receive the EU registered CE mark, and they are in talks with several distributors who have taken an interest in partnering in the EU. So again here, loads of things that are potentially coming up in this company, and whilst I'm generally against cannabis, I do know that it is a huge thing medically and that it does help people with medical conditions. So I'm not opposed to medical cannabis, just general cannabis. So yeah, loads of future potential here, especially here it says that the future products that they're looking at are a second generation medically certified device, new medicinal oils, and further clinical trials. So considering this is a brand new listing, I see it as something that has huge potential, especially with the fact that we are currently not really in a place in Europe where medical cannabis is widely used or even legal. So potentially, if that was to happen, I think these stocks could go very, very high. Now, last but not least, this is potentially the riskiest one of all of these, and this is HCMC, Healthier Choices Management Corporation. Now, this has been absolutely everywhere, and I unfortunately got in right at the highest moment, so I'm currently down a lot, although today it's up a little bit, as in up today, but I'm still down, just not as down as I was for the last few weeks. But this is essentially a company that is trading at not even a cent per share, and there was a price target on it previously, but they have taken it down. But it used to have a price target of about $6, which I thought was insane. But even if that went to like $1, that is some huge potential gains, considering it's less than a penny per share. If it then went to $1 per share, that is an insane amount of money. So the reason that this is a potential big money maker is that they are currently in some lawsuit with Philip Morris, who are a huge company, and they are accusing them of a patent violation. So if the court case goes in their favor, they will gain a hell of a lot of money. And this is why people are predicting that the share price will go up. So here we've got some details about what is happening. They are in the middle of the heated legal dispute with tobacco giant Philip Morris over one of the patents. They essentially are accusing Philip Morris on infringing one of the patents. This is around the IQOS electronic pipe produced by Philip Morris, and they are disputing this in court. So like I said, I've spent the majority of my time invested in this company, about 75% down. And if they do lose the court case, the likelihood is that it will not go very far and I can lose all of my money. But even if it goes to 50 cents a share, that will be a huge, huge gain for me. So like I said, completely highly speculative and not something that I recommend for you if you are a beginner investor, or if you have any sort of financial troubles, because very, very high risk. Anyway, tell me what you think about any of these companies, if you have a view, if you hold them in your portfolio, and if you have any others that you think are worth looking into. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.